Hello, everyone. This is Lisa.
This is Ada.
Welcome back to the Opinion Piece Podcasts. Where today we're going to be talking about something that probably everybody talks about, right? Health? I don't know.
Health but physical and mental.
Yeah, so here's the difference, because people like to compartmentalize everything today, right? I don't know. We're going to talk about health in a very holistic fashion because we are one person, right? So people talk about, there are dimensions of health. You have mental health, right? Physical health, spiritual health, financial health, and there's more, but they all encompass one being, right?
Yes.
So anyhow.
Yeah. So we want to talk mainly about how your mental health. No.
Yeah, well, a lot of people like to separate your mental health from your physical health, but let me tell you something. It all starts with your physical health, right? And your spiritual health. Everything is intricated together. So, for example, if your hormones are out of balance, it's going to impact your mental health, right? If your thyroid levels are off, it's going to impact your mental health. If you eat something you're allergic to, it's going to impact your mental health, right? If you're eating a lot of chemicals, artificial colors, artificial flavors, there's TBHQ, there's all kinds of crap, BHT, all of these things in our diet. It's going to impact our mental health. If your diet is full of plastics and caffeine, I have 4 cups of coffee today. I can't imagine why I have anxiety. My point is, as I always say, in so many different realms, right? We output what we input. And you can't talk about one aspect of health without talking about another, because it's,
Well, and where I always go with this, though, is also your physical health impacting your mental health.
Of course.
As in, when I exercise and when I'm exercising, whether it's just a walk around the block with my dog or I'm actually full on exercising, I can't tell you how much of a different person I am.
Changes everything.
It's literally like night and day. If I don't exercise, I'll all of a sudden feel depressed. I feel like I have no motivation anymore. I just want to lay around. I don't want to go outside.
100%.
And I start to lash out. I start to get anxiety. The second I start exercising daily, moving, I feel like a completely different person. It's pretty crazy.
Of course, because exercise changes everything. You're changing your state. You're changing your chemistry in your brain, all your neurotransmitters. You're activating everything. You're getting that blood flowing. So the best time, even if you don't feel like exercising, you just have to do it. Well, how do I do that? I don't feel like it. I don't have time. That all comes down to habits, right?
Right.
And so I have advice for people actually that don't exercise, because I know it's really difficult, even when we want to do it, right? It's like nobody feels like doing it. And if you haven't done it for a long time, then you have like all those guilt feelings that come in, and then it just creates a whole vicious cycle. But really the best way to start any habit, Ada, is to make it a micro habit. If you say, I am going to run 5 miles a day starting Monday. Well, first of all, why Monday?
Right.
Because tomorrow is like the worst word you could ever say. Number one. Number two, let's face it, 5 miles, I'm not doing anything. That is not getting up off the couch. So my advice to you is to say whatever it is that you want to implement. I don't know if you like the bike or walking or stretching or dancing or whatever. 1 minute. 1 push-up, 1 jumping jack. I'll tell you, I've had clients that'll be like, well, that's not going to do anything, right? Oh, yeah? Okay, well, you let me know how that goes for you. Oh, my gosh, you'd be so amazed. I started with my 1 minute. I ended up working out for an hour.
Yep.
That's the key, right? You just have to begin. But if it's too here, you're not going to do it. Don't make it overwhelming.
Yes.
The simplest, shortest, easiest, you just start and you build on that. Walk for 1 minute. Again, 1 minute, 1 jumping jack, 1 stretching, whatever. Just 1 minute, whatever. Make them small. It doesn't have to exactly be that, but just very small.
Right.
Small goals. And that little bit of achievement, it's going to impact your biochemistry. You're going to start to feel a little better about yourself. Well, I did that. I can do that, right?
Right.
Baby steps.
Well, and I know someone very close to me that will do these diets back and forth. Like, it'll be like 1 week we're like, I am not eating any carbs. No carbs. They're not going to happen. You know who you are. And I say, like, just these, like, matter-of-fact statements. I'm just like, I'm not going to do. And then next thing you know, I'm, like, walking around the corner next day, and they're like, oh, just, it's Saturday. Like, I'm just going to have this one little, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop. I keep telling this person, stop saying these absolutes, that this is like, you need to give yourself a little room for grace and be like, I am not eating carbs Monday through Friday. Something small, like you said, like, or I'm not going to do this. Like, you have to start on these small goals, because eventually if you do Monday through Friday, no carbs, you're not really going to feel like doing carbs on Saturday. You start to feel, but you start to feel those changes.
Yes.
Like, for me, it's sugar. So like, if I don't eat sugar for 5 days, I actually don't crave it anymore.
Because it's really
right. And I've even tried to do the whole thing where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have a cheat day on Saturday.
Yeah.
And like, I will go and have some candy, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of don't feel like eating this whole thing. You know what I mean? And so you start to
How do you
get
feel
there.
when you consume it? Do you feel different? Do you feel better? Do you feel worse?
I feel worse about myself after, but I also don't feel that urge to just like eat the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like,
because you're breaking the addiction,
right,
basically.
Right. So like what you're saying about the micro goals or whatever it is, like you should start small.
Absolutely.
And then you work up.
Absolutely. Because if you give yourself if it's too hard or too big, your brain's going to be like, yeah, you're hilarious.
You get overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yep. And we don't want that, right? The other thing you have to think about is what you're putting into your body. What are you putting into your body? You can't say, I want to be healthy and eat artificial garbage all day long. Like, these are chemicals, and these chemicals affect how we feel. They affect our mood. They affect if we're negative or positive, if we're happy, if we're sad. You can't tell me that you can put in all of these chemicals that are affecting your brain and it's not going to affect how you feel. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
It makes a huge difference.
Right.
I have done tests on my own kids who are very sensitive to chemicals. And it is night and day.
Yeah.
I mean, it really got to the point where my youngest was like, Mommy, please make sure I don't have this, because I don't like the way it makes me feel.
Right.
But people don't think about those things. And we really need to start thinking about what we're putting into our bodies and what we're doing, holistically for our I'm going to say mental health for one reason. We live in a society where depression and anxiety in particular have skyrocketed, right? But why are we not talking about, we're talking about, CBT and seeing a therapist and, doing all the things, getting on medication, which some people have to, I understand, of course. But why are we not talking about, okay, well, what kind of music are you listening to? Is it sad music? Like, what kind of music are you listening to? What are you watching on TV? If you're watching horror movies all day and you're wondering why you're scared.
Or the news.
Yeah, if you're watching the news all day and wondering why your heart is like this, like, seriously, think about what you're doing with your day. And if you're coupling that with 4 cups of coffee and a pack of cigarettes and jelly beans, I gotta be honest, you're not gonna feel like your best.
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And your hormones, you have to remember too, like the plastics and all of those things, those estrogens, hormones.
Yeah. I think going back to what you're saying about the mental and physical, I think COVID was a huge test of all this, because they just wanted to give us the shot to fix it, but they also weren't talking about the people that were passing away from it and like all of the physical things that they had wrong with them the underlying, you know what I mean?
But when it comes to lifestyle and healthy lifestyles and treating chronic illnesses and curing chronic illnesses and, actually fixing the problem, we don't do that. We don't do that. You have this, so take this. This is causing side effects. Well, take this, and that'll fix the side effects from the medicine that's you need for this. Like,
Right.
so, but the problem is all you're doing is masking everything.
Right.
And I'm not saying medicine
Instead
is important. Listen, if I didn't have Synthroid, I mean, medicine is important, right?
Of course, yeah.
However, the way that it's progressed in this country, nobody's getting better because you're just masking all the symptoms. And when you're masking symptoms, those symptoms are there for a reason. It's telling your body something is wrong. So you need to address that underlying issue. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's really important.
Yeah, we need preventative rather than,
Yeah.
I guess, reactive.
We need to be proactive. Exactly. That's where we are. And that's the
Proactive
same
rather
thing in
than-
everything, right? And think about your mental health, right? You're overreactive. We have to be proactive. Exactly. That's
Yes.
exactly right. Yeah, we're overreactive. We're feeding ourselves poison. Nobody's getting off the couch. We're sitting around all day. Why do I feel so depressed?
Yeah.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not speaking of not the,
course.
there's
And, like-
clinical depression. There's all different, there's a whole, what is that, spectrum of.
Yeah. But I would even say, because I have definitely faced those, I wouldn't say I was full on in a depression state, but, after I had the babies and all that stuff, I definitely had some postpartum issues. And
Yes.
I mean, I had to eventually force myself to move because I was sitting there breastfeeding and then just kind of hanging on the couch because I was so tired. And then I'm I feel like crap. And then I was like, well, I'll feel better if I have some mint chocolate chip ice cream. So I eat my mint chocolate chip ice cream. Then I feel guilty. And then finally I have to just move my body.
Yeah.
And then once I start moving my body, I'm
It
there you go.
helps,
So
right?
even depression, I think,
Oh,
could
definitely.
be semi-solved. Obviously, again, like you're saying, there's those extreme cases. But if you move,
Exercise, mindset, what you're putting into your body, and the nutrition. What are you eating? Do you know what I mean? There's things that we need. Everybody, I don't know many people that are not low on vitamin D. You have to you need vitamin D. It's really important.
Yeah.
What do your nutrients look like? Are you eating? And again, we are full of pesticides. Our food there's a lot of toxicity in our food. And as a parent, it's really frustrating and challenging to try to give your kids anything that's not crap. You can't even get Rice Krispie treats. I mean, there's BHT in Rice Krispie treats. Cheez-Its. Do you know what's in a Cheez-It?
Oh my God.
What the heck?
This makes me angry because anything that kids like is basically
it's crap.
horrible for them. And
It's
then
poison food.
And it's already impossible to feed them healthy.
Exactly.
As it is
Or
because
at
they're
least
so
get them
picky.
to eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a very frustrating thing as a parent. For
It
sure.
is. It is very frustrating.
It's I'll force myself to eat broccoli. I hate it, but I'll eat it. But to try to get a kid to eat anything healthy is already hard. And now you're also putting chemicals on top of it.
Yeah. And their little
So-
brains. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually it makes me pretty angry, especially seeing what Europe and stuff does and their food, and we're over here.
I know.
They're banning chemicals while we're just adding them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
It is very frustrating. It is. And I'm sure there are things that we could do to change that, but you don't want to get caught up in there's nothing I can do, so I'm just going to eat whatever I want. No, that's
Right,
crap.
right.
You have to, accept what you can't change and navigate through that, as best as you can and make wiser. We need to make wiser choices for ourselves. We can't expect our lives to get better. We can't expect to feel better if we're not putting in the work. And part of putting in the work is actually caring about what you're putting into your body and caring about what you're doing to stay healthy, because it doesn't just happen. You have to
Exactly.
put the work in,
Exactly. Yes.
So, but it's definitely not something that can be separated.
No. It's 100% connected.
Yep.
For sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to bridge that gap between mental health and physical health and really just bring together all of the 8 dimensions of health. You know, it's really important. Think of it this way. Okay, so you have somebody that has no house and no way to get food. Well, how the heck do you expect them to feel mentally? Like, hello, they're not, their needs aren't met. So of course they're gonna have some issues. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think.
No, maybe not.
I feel like I've just had a
If your
brain fart. And I
basic
can't.
needs are not met, there's no way you can feel your best.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
But I don't know why I'm going there. I guess that wasn't really relevant.
I literally feel like I've had a brain fart and I can't talk.
I know.
I feel like the only thing I wanted to say was that
that is also in
exercise,
my
and
other
then I'm
notebook.
like-
In my other notebook, that's where everything is
I
for
just
this.
like
That's okay. I literally have so many notes on this at home. Just like
but like what else is there to say?
Oh, there's
basically is what it is.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
move and you'll feel better. Eat right and you'll feel better.
What? Yeah,
The
like
end.
listen to positive things. You'll think more positively.
Right.
Stop watching the news all day. You know, get some humor in your life. Laughter is power.
Oh my
you know,
God.
get around people and socialize. Don't seclude
Yeah.
yourself in your house. And when you don't feel like doing something is when you really need to be doing something. You know.
Yeah. You know what I used to do with one of my friends back in the day?
What?
Oh my God, it was so funny. I think it was funny. I don't know. But we would get really like in these like ruts where we'd just like hang out all day. We used to be roommates.
Yeah.
He's my little gay like best friend. And we would just like, Tom used to hate us because we all lived together. But anyways, but him and I would be like, I'm so like, I don't want to do this. And like, we'd just be like, we should go work out, but I don't want to. And then so like we get in these like depressive states and we're like, you know what? We should just like fake laugh. So we'd just sit there and like go like,
I love it. I love it.
and then we would just like start like hysterically
And then you start laughing. Yes.
So now when I'm upset, I'm just like fake laugh. And then I'm like, oh my God.
Isn't
and then
that
I think of
funny?
my friend and then I'm like,
I bet you it changes your state.
Oh, 100%. Even
that
thinking of
amazing?
that makes me so happy.
See, it's the little
That's so funny.
things. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great example, Ada,
Thanks.
about doing the exact opposite
Yeah.
of what you want to do and how just
Yeah.
automatic. It's magical, right? There's a thing too, like if you stand like what is it, like Superman, like that stance? I'm
Yeah.
serious. There's science
Yeah.
behind that. Like that stance, promotes confidence and like
Yeah.
I don't know. It
One
just
also
changes
probably
your-
makes you feel a little like you're like feel funny and then you're like, oh, that's like, and then
Yeah.
you feel like
Yeah.
better, like anything.
Posture changes things too. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
These little things that we don't even talk about or don't even like think about.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Yeah. No, but seriously.
Yeah. So mental health, physical health, it's intertwined.
100%.
The end.
You can't have good mental health if you don't have good physical health. And if you're not taking care of your body, then you're definitely not taking care of your mind. But the other thing with mental health too, it's not just, I believe it's not just exercise and diet and all that. I think it also is, again, you're, learning how to train that mindset, learning how to weed out the negative thoughts in
Right.
our mind. We have to learn how to use our mind. It's our most powerful tool that we have. Really. And that
Exactly.
is a lot that should also be included in health. That's all part of it. It's all part of it.
Right.
It's our greatest tool.
Right.
It's also can cause our greatest torment. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and like we were talking about with you, like you're your own worst critic. You
Yeah.
are being hard on yourself,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Like,
yeah. We have to
it's
learn where
all
those
in the
patterns
mind.
come from and we need to catch them and, and change them.
for sure.
Again, sounds so simple. Is it simple? No, it's not simple. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Life-changing. Life-changing. All these simple little things that are so hard to do are so life-changing. Right? And that's something,
Yeah.
who knew?
Yeah.
Nothing they taught you in school, right?
Yeah, but they are starting.
I
like
know.
I told you,
Oh,
I'm so excited.
They are starting. I got a
Yeah.
couple. It's so funny because my other degree is in a health and phys ed teacher, right? So I'm like, it's amazing how I got my master's in clinical social work and, being a therapist. So now that my kid is coming home with this stuff about like coping skills and anxiety and that kind of stuff, I'm like, it's just so amazing because when I went to school for health and phys ed, it wasn't really, we talked about the dimensions of, health and that kind of stuff. But like,
Yeah.
I love to see the wellness model because it was always about wellness for me.
Yeah.
And that they're incorporating these things and teaching kids about coping skills. And so I think it's
Yeah.
great. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It just bridges my gap too, because sometimes I feel all over the place, but it's not. It's
all
it's all
connected.
holistic health. It's all intertwined.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Love it.
Yay! What do I know?
All right. That's what
I always
you say all
that.
the time.
I do that a lot. But what do I know? That's my famous line. I'm gonna start an advice column called "What Do I Know?"
Oh my gosh, that should be
Do
my
this, but what do I
catchphrase.
know?
I feel like I know nothing.
You know a lot.
Ugh. Anyways, that's the stuff we tell ourselves.
Yeah, and it's about catching that and changing it in the moment, right?
Yes.
Baby steps, and
Yep.
even if you have no idea where to begin or you have no idea what the heck we're talking about, it's okay. It starts with planting the seed. It starts with planting the seed,
Yes, it does.
All
All right.
But anywho, there's our little blurb about health.
All right. So, what are you doing?
She can't do it. What are your thoughts on health? What are your thoughts on holistic health? Do you think that they're all intertwined or not, or what? Well, yeah, I got nothing.
You sound super excited.
All right.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So, feel free to reach out, social or email, whatever.
Let me know let us know what your strategies are, tips.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all the things.
All
We'll
the
see you
things.
next time.
Maybe that's what we'll do. All the things.
We already did.
You
That
know,
was like
all
our,
the things.
literally
no,
our first
I'm saying
episode.
our saying like
All
all
the
of the things. Here we are, all of the things. We're gonna think of 100,000 later. Should have said
right.
that. I should have said that. I should have said
Maybe we
that.
should close it out
Sorry.
again.
You ready? Oh, is
Yeah.
that what we're doing?
I
I'm
don't-
sorry.
That's
I
what
got
we were trying
sidetracked.
to do.
I got sidetracked.
We're drunk. No, I'm just kidding. We just want to know maybe what have you done to overcome any obstacles that you might have maintaining a healthy lifestyle? Is
Yeah,
it-
absolutely. We always love to hear from you.
Yeah. Or what do you need help with? And maybe,
Do you have any? Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
yeah.
I love that.
don't
If
know.
anybody has any questions, why not? Yeah.
Sure.
We're always here to help people.
Sure.
Seriously, if anybody has any questions or if you need help with anything, reach out.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on the Opinion Piece podcast. This is Lisa.
This is Ada.
We're out. Bye.
We never do that. We never say our names at the end.